Hello, students. Today we'll discuss 19th century important events and their influences on English language. And second segment is sources of new words. First of all, we'll discuss some important events and their influences on English language. One point should be remembered that language is a living phenomena. Language is influenced by political situations and economic situations and many other factors. So, language is a very sensitive and flexible phenomena. And we'll discuss 19th century important events. In 1801, Kingdom of Britain and Kingdom of Ireland merged. So, when they merged, the result is their linguistic features merged. Irish English and British English were merged and a new variety appeared over there. British Empire and colonialism. Empire has the passion of expansion and it occupies other areas. When England became an empire, it started colonialism. The roots of this colonialism spread in Indo-Pak subcontinent in the form of East India Company, and we got freedom from them in 1947. On the other hand, they colonized 13 states of America. England colonized Australia. England also occupied some parts of China, especially coastal areas, and it also occupied African countries. The result is we got international borrowing. English borrowed words from all colonized states. That's why you find barbecue, this is African word. You find pizza, this is Italian word. And you find Indian words like thug, bangles, and many others. So colonialism has brought extensive changes in English language. There was a tussle between England and France, and they have also fought some wars. Its result is that linguistic rivalry is still over there. And in this influence, Canada has also linguistic riots, mean linguistic fights. Okay, in 1820, America was discovered. Napoleonic wars were in Europe, and Latin American independence also influenced English language. Abolition of slavery and the American Civil War. When black slaves got freedom, and when they got freedom, they have their distinct identity. Later on, black English got particular features and distinct variety. Decline of the Ottoman Empire. This was the biggest state in the world, and it was the hub of Muslim power. When Ottoman Empire was broken into pieces and several new small countries appear like Saudi Arabia uh, and Jordan and several others, Kuwait. Thomas Edison's inventions also played role in the introduction of new words. Linguistics and other phenomena. as we discussed that language is a living phenomenon and language changes with the passage of time. As fashions change, language also changes. You are looking at a picture in the right corner. You look at that one black and one white. Basically, I'm discussing interracial marriages. When there are interracial marriages, their languages also change. So Pidgin and Creole appear. So language and inventions have very deep-seated ties. When new things are invented, linguists give them new names, or the inventor gives new names. Language and politics have also close relations. That some political party wants to promote national language, or another political party wants to promote provincial or regional languages. So when political power axis changes, language also changes, or language policy changes. Language and wars, Franco-Prussian wars, Boer wars, Afghan-Sikh wars, these wars were fought in 19th century. So they also changed the physical boundary of the countries, physical boundaries of the countries, and their linguistic boundaries were also changed. Language and political revolutions. There were different revolutions in different parts of the world, and basically there were some dictatorship like Italy's Mussolini and some other dictators were ruling. In some areas, uh, democracy were there. So language was also affected through revolutions. For instance, when Ottoman Empire was broken by Allied forces and Mustafa Kemal appears over there. So he removed foreign words and he emphasized on Turkish word. So pure Turkish language, pure Turkish script was introduced and other foreign influences were removed, foreign words were removed. The result is there was language change. So there was a big language change in Turkey when Ottoman Empire was broken. Language and migration. There were different types of causes. Sometimes there was famine, sometimes there was a lust of power, colonialism, and there was intolerance about any sect or any political party. And the weakest has to uh, flee somewhere to get refuge in some safe havens. So migration is there. When there is a migration, diasporic communities have a different language. Language and the interracial and intercultural marriages, so their language changes, and then their children's language also changes. So Pidgin and Creole appears over there. We'll talk about Pidgin and Creole in the next lectures. Comparative method. In 19th century, there were some crucial and significant changes. For instance, comparative method was introduced. What is comparative method? A set of principles to compare a language with another in terms of sound, grammar, vocabulary. That language was compared with other languages. Their similarities and dissimilarities were found, and they were amazed that some languages have so much resemblance with other languages in terms of sound, grammar, or vocabulary? How much do they have similarity, or how much do they have differences with other languages? French, Italian, Portuguese languages were evolved from Latin languages. When they started comparative method, they came to know that French, Italian, Portuguese were evolved or derived from Latin language. One group of scholars, especially Hindu community, they believe that Sanskrit is the mother of all Indian languages and especially Indo European languages. In Indian languages, we find Punjabi, Sindhi, Saraiki, Prakrit, Pali languages that they have been derived from Sanskrit because we find so many similar features. Vocabulary matching is the easiest one, and we found many instances which show that they are the same. Like in Punjabi culture, dhoti, coat, lak, these words are present. Basically, these words have been derived from Sanskrit language. Mr. Dr. Tariq Rahman has also worked on Pakistani languages, and he has tried to find out origin of these languages. Another scholar of Indo-Pak subcontinent, and he mentioned that Arabic is the mother of all languages, and it was mentioned in his book. But this was just a claim, and then just some decades ago, one or two, I have met this scholar, Muhammad Ahmad Masar, in 92 or 93. So he was alive just 25 years back. He has written a book, The Source of All the Languages. In this book, he has proved that Arabic is the mother of all languages, and Muslims should also believe the same thing, because he proved that Sanskrit and other languages are traced to Arabic. Traced to Arabic means they have their origin in Arabic. Suppose conjugations are present in Arabic, Sanskrit has also conjugations. Arabic has single, dual, plural concept. Sanskrit has also single, dual, plural concept, and many other features which we'll discuss in Indo European language family and Indian language family. Discovery of Indo European languages. Sir William Jones, you look at his picture at the bottom. He was a British judge and he was a scholar, and he worked in India. In 1786, he said in his address, Sanskrit language is more perfect than Greek, more cases than Latin, sprung from common source. Here cases mean like subjective case, objective case, possessive case. These are cases. Sanskrit language has more cases. It means Sanskrit has more depth and expansion and varieties. And he declared that Latin is not so much rich language as compared to Sanskrit language. He observed resemblance between Indo-European language, especially English. He was having British origin and he was working in India, so he was best able to compare English language and Sanskrit language. He took Sanskrit language from India and British and English language from Britain, so he compared both of them and he found resemblance over there. That's why it was called Indo European languages, that Indian language and European languages, that Sanskrit has uh, been shifted, or Sanskrit has been shifted to England, or Sanskrit has influenced English language. Another scholar and linguist, Danish linguist Ramses Rast, worked on historical comparative linguistics, but he didn't compare Sanskrit. He was not having understanding about Sanskrit, so he just worked on comparative linguistics. Another German scholar, Franz Bock, analyzed Sanskrit, Greek, Persian, and the Germanic languages. His work was quite extensive, and he is a great figure in comparative linguistics. And next, we'll talk about a German philologist whose name is Jacob Grimm. Jacob Grimm explained cognates and their sound shift. His work will be discussed in next slides too. Okay, now we'll just mention some cognates. Sanskrit has pita and Greek has pater. Latin has pater. English has father. So there is P has been changed into first sound. Okay. If you find out resemblance, trace, stress, and three. So language has been compared in comparative linguistics, and their similarities have been highlighted. Vocabulary resemblance between English and Sanskrit. English language borrowed many words from English language. For example, orange, shampoo, court, lark, jungle, and there are many more. Chit, we are familiar with the word chit. The word chit has been taken from Sanskrit word chithi, and the word chithi has been used in Urdu also. Man word is an English word, and it has been taken from Manu, Sanskrit word. So there is resemblance between English and Sanskrit language. Historical linguistics. Language changes with the passage of time. Language is not a static phenomenon. You must have observed that after the advent of internet, our language has changed. But when mobile phones became common, and WhatsApp and text messages, they have got more fame and fashion as compared to calls. Result is, due to their excessive use, our language has changed. Now you will find rarely a message which has complete academic language. So our language is changing, or purists say that our language is deteriorating radically. There are different types of changes. There are diachronic changes. You should remember with the word D, period. In period, D comes in the end. In diachronic, D comes in the beginning. So when we study a long period of time, we want to explore changes. Internet, we want to explore changes in language. For example, internet was introduced after 1992 in Pakistan. Rather, you can say that it became so much common after 1996. So if I want to observe 1996 to uh, 2016, 20 years time span, and that how has language changed. We also take 1976 to 1996. These 20 years, how much has language changed? And 1996 to 2016, how much language has been changed in these 20 years? You will find that after internet there are so many changes. So when you take 20 years period, 10 years period, this is called diachronic changes. Synchronic changes. Synchronic, you will remember specific. Specific starts with S and synchronic starts with S. Specific changes mean changes in some particular time. Suppose nowadays there are corona issues and coronavirus has affected the whole world. So corona has also changed. Corona uh, has been used in news, in politics, and some new words have been coined. COVID word was coined. So if we want to study changes due to coronavirus, this study is called synchronic changes. You will find a complete corpus of coronavirus language that is called coronavirus corpus, and it is present in Brigham Young University website. You will just write on internet Brigham Young BYU Brigham Young University BYU Corpora coronavirus. You will reach that corpus. It's quite new. Another word you must have listened, panga in Urdu, mean there is row, there is a tussle, and but from where has this word taken? This is my study that word panga has been taken from Latin word pagna, and we just changed the positioning of G, and it became panga, and the same meaning is present in Latin language. In Arabic there is fakka. In Arabic grammar we study fakke idgham. Fakka means to cut something or to remove something and put it somewhere else. In Punjabi you find phakka. Phakka means you take a handful of sugar or something and you throw it in your mouth. Usually children get advantage of some opportunity to eat handful of sugar. So that is phakka. This word phakka has been taken from Arabic fakka. It has been mentioned in Sheikh Muhammad Ahmad Sahib Mazhar's book, which I have discussed earlier. Etymology. Etymology also helps us to understand the historical changes of any language. Etymology Etymology means study of origin of words. There is a website www.etymonline.com. You can easily find out etymology of any word. You should go to this website, write any word, and you will be astonished to find beautiful and marvelous background developments of any word. I think I have told you earlier that the words salary, when we check it from Etym Online, we find that the word was salarium and its meaning was salt because salt was given as a salary to workers, and later on this word was changed into salary and in terms of money. because nowadays barter system is not functional. Currency notes or soft money is in fashion nowadays. Oxford has also published one dictionary of etymology. There are some subfields of uh, historical linguistics. They are called comparative linguistics, as we are talking about comparison. There is also etymology, study of origin of words. There is a dialectology, means study of different dialects, like the word tea. It is pronounced in Irish dialect te. Morphology, study of words, syntax, order of words. Syntax mean study of order of words in a sentence. Semantics is the study of meanings of words. For example, the word nice. Nowadays, it has a very good meaning. A good-natured person is called a nice person. But in Shakespearean era, its meaning was foolish. So meaning also changes with the passage of time. Orthographic changes, spelling changes. When we find Geoffrey Chaucer's book, Prologue to Canterbury Tales, over there we find spellings of April, A-P-R-I-L-L. Nowadays its spellings are A-P-R-I-L. We find the word soote, S-O-O-T-E. Nowadays its meaning is sweet. Thank you so much. There is a second part of this lecture. Thank you.